So it has been a while since I've touched this instrument. When I say a while, I literally mean like not 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I mean a long time. And part of the reason is because of my location where I live. Let me see. I think this phone's a little bit too dark. Let me get it brighter. Let me see. It's bright enough. Yeah, part of the reason is that um, all the houses are built over here. So in China, the houses are built in a manner that tend to build upright because they have a very large population. They tend to build going up. Whereas in Jamaica, we have a population of basically what 3 million, 2.5 to 3 million people. So they build what horizontally. They build vertically because they need they have to try to be economical with the space. Whereas we don't have to don't have to do that. So to be honest, I almost didn't feel like practicing because I had to be cleaning off black stuff off me each time. You know, each time I see the black stuff coming on me because it has been put down so a while, maybe these things I have to wipe it off and see, even though it's still on me, I'm just tired. When I'm at my house, I had to clean it off and all that. Kind of get tired of it now, crow. If you see any on me, just bear with me. You know, sometimes people may see me publish videos with the recorder and the guitar and so forth. It's because those instruments are instruments that you can play in your house and you won't disturb anyone. Whereas if I take up the trumpet, the trombone, in some cases the clarinet and so forth, it might be disturbing your neighbor. So, yeah, sometimes I just, yeah. Some instruments you cannot touch for a while and you can still be able to find a sound like the saxophone. When it comes down to the trumpet, wow. The trumpet is the second instrument I learned to play. I learned to play that instrument in 1996 after being on the B flat bugle for 4 months. It was September, October, November, December, 4 months. I was promoted to the trumpet, the B flat trumpet, and I had a trumpet teacher. His name is David Madden. I studied with him when I went to college, Edna College. Now, when I was going to Prospect College where I studied music, you had a band teacher by the name of Mr. Raymond Marder. He pretty much is a string person. He's not a brass specialist, but he can show you how to do a few things. So if you want to go to advanced studies, just like if you want to learn certain instruments, certain teachers can take you away with the basics. But when you want to go into advanced things, then you have to get to a specialist. So when I was going to Edna College, I studied with Major Joe Williams for a while. I was learning. I learned a lot. Let me be honest. I learned a lot. I learned how to interpret music, how to read music properly, and most importantly, how to interpret music, to play something that you have never seen for the first time at sight and make it come alive, as how the composer would have loved for you to do. Now, when I got to after studying with Major Joe Williams for 2 years, what did it go again? I studied with Major Joe Williams for 3 years, and after that, I wanted to do some additional studies, so they introduced me to a teacher by the name of David Madden. No, I watched Mr. Madden play the trumpet, and to be honest with you, I was fascinated. I was fascinated at how easy and how relaxed he looked when he was playing the instrument, in respect of getting in certain high notes. But the mistake I made then is that I changed over to him. Not that he was a bad teacher, no. The mistake I would say that I made is that I changed my way of playing because I had a good sound before he came, and after that is that I started sounding a little bit eerie, and it's not his fault. I was trying to sound like him, so it's not his fault. I'm not blaming him. I was trying to sound like him, And based on what I know now, you can't, don't try to sound like anyone. You gotta be yourself. Because everyone's facial muscle is different, because there's something that is called the embouchure, which has to do with how you place the instrument in your mouth, and everyone's facial muscle is different. Yeah, there are certain standard practices and techniques that we use, but what may work for one person may not necessarily work for you, because our facial features are different, you know. So when I studied with him, I just, after a while I started getting the high notes pretty easy. I went up to super C and all of that, but I wasn't able to get the low notes as I used to get before. I used to get like the low F sharp. I could play those pieces, and I pretty much was able to stay within the range of the instrument and had a good sound, like up to the C above me, the C. But I just, I really wish and to be honest, even to this day, I feel like I'm not able to get back to that again. It's like when you lose something, to feel like you almost just don't get it back. But one thing I learned, though, I really learned some things that Major Joe Williams was not teaching me, like double tonguing. The pronunciation of doing double tonguing, tuku, 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 tuku. It's just like when you do that, when you play it slow, it sounds kind of really insipid. It sounds foolish. But when you're going fast, it enables you to be able to play fast passages and have a good sound. To be honest, I would encourage people out there studying music and instruments. Be careful of the things that you change. Not everything that you see out there you should try and imitate. Because when you learn a bad technique, it's really hard to unlearn it. Oh, too much talk for trumpet. So this is a woodwind instrument. It's called woodwind because you need a reed to facilitate vibration. Alright? Yeah, I'm basically on the first floor in a very nice location, and you may hear people talking, so just ignore that. My reed is pretty dry. It's really dry. I don't feel like it's moisturized properly, but I'm going to try. So when you're setting up your reed, you try to make it align with the tip of that. Tighten this a little bit. Don't make it too tight. Moisturize your lip. When you're holding here, try not to squeeze the right. I tend to just like slide it down here, get it down to the end or wherever you're in tune, based on who you're playing with or what you're doing. Yeah, get some more tip like. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, some people use mud patch, but I've tried it and it doesn't work for me, so that's the next thing too. Not because you see everyone using mouth patch means that you have to use it. Just do your thing, because it's just to protect your teeth, and maybe you don't need that. I'm using a mouthpiece here. I'm not even sure if it's a Selma 7C mouthpiece. I don't remember what type of mouthpiece, to be honest. Alright, so moisturize the lip, blow. Okay. You gotta make sure no air is escaping from the side of your mouth, no? I tend to feel like there's a little stick on this thing. I don't know if it's because I'm not played for a while, but it feels like it's sticking a little bit. When I play the high notes, kind of feel like it's sticking a little bit, taking long to go back down. Or when you play the saxophone too, there's something that may happen to you when you're playing the sharp, like notes that require you to use this key, like G sharp. They call it a G sharp key. Sometimes it may stick. So what you do is that if it sticks, you just go right under here, right under this part of the instrument, this key, just lift it up, release it. Sometimes it has a way of sticking. It used to happen to me, and then I went on YouTube, so we have to really thank God for YouTube. The next thing about the saxophone is that the higher the size of the reed, is the more difficult it is for you to get the low notes. Like for me, I just tend to work with the same size reed that I started with, which is 2.5. What would I say now? Some people would advise you that when you're starting out as a beginner, start with size 2. But I don't think I necessarily would recommend that. I mean, nothing is wrong with that. It's very soft, and I guess maybe you can try that still, to be honest. But I would not even recommend it. I would just recommend you start with 2.5. Yeah, maybe you can just work with 2.5 for the rest of your life if you want. If you feel you can go for a higher strength, because as I said before, we have different size lips and all that. If you feel that you can work with a different size reed, go for it.